Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It is Mike's Talks and Thoughts here, back again with the Better Call Saul reviews. Here every Monday night, and today we're going to be talking about the season 6, episode 5, Black and Blue. Here, the episode title was definitely something that got me very curious for this week because, as many Breaking Bad fans know, Negro y Azul, which means black and blue in Spanish, was the title of a Breaking Bad episode, of course, in season 2. And that was the episode, I believe, right before the episode titled Better Call Saul. So I definitely had some high hopes for this episode, but we'll get into that as we move forward here. And yeah, I'll just go break down the episode like usual. Again, this is going to be another spoiler. Again, if you have any questions or want to comment on anything, leave in the live chat, or if you're watching this afterwards, leave it in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button below for more weekly content here on the channel. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. So the first scene that we see here is a lab worker. He's working on this ruler. And these opening scenes have really been, um, very eye-opening, very interesting in the fact that you really don't know what's going on. They're really visually presented very well, but you're just really confused on what's going on. But of course, all of these teaser intros have had explanations at the end of the episode of what happens with them. uh this guy, he puts this ruler in like a case, and there's like German writing on it, which of course led many people on Twitter thinking that it is tying back to Werner Ziegler. So you know I definitely thought that at the start here, and of course when we get into the episode we see how it actually does play back with Werner here. So I think that was a solid intro here to the episode. Next here, the first like actual scene from the show, for the series, other than the opener. We see Kim and Jimmy. They're at their house. Kim is very suspicious still that Lalo. She found out last episode that Lalo is still alive from Mike. She's got the door blocked, and she's just trying to clear her head. And then Jimmy eventually comes out, and it's like you can't sleep, and yeah, and she kind of plays it off that she's just doing work, but in reality that she's still very on high alert with Lalo. Um, so I think that was just an interesting scene to see. She does not tell Jimmy about Lalo, so that's still something that he does not know about. Then back here we see Gus. So now we're back to Gus. We see him in his Los Pueblos Hermanos uniform in his office. He looks very nervous, like he has been the past few episodes ever since the failed assassination of Lalo. He has been just, on very high alert. He's very on watch of everything, and he's basically, at work, and you get to see Lilo again, which was really great to see. So, that was amazing. And we see Gus. He's basically, he comes and he takes this person's order, and the guy gives his order, and Gus is just zoned out. He is just so out of it. He can't function. He walks out of his restaurant just so frustrated and so, um, you know, kind of flabbergasted that Lalo hasn't come back yet. And, he's just very, very paranoid at this point, and it's really driving him crazy. And then the next scene here, we get to see Howard Cliff talking with the Sandpiper residents. The Sandpiper case, we've seen has been a big focal point throughout the entire show here. Jimmy and Kim, this whole plan really, while it is to ruin Howard's reputation, it's really to get the Sandpiper case to settle. Um, I think it's just really great how they're tying this into the whole story. And we see Cliff and Howard talking with these people. These people are really fed up. They want their money, and then Howard explains to them how basically they're trying to hold out as long as possible to get the highest return possible. They want to get a 30% increase on the return that they would have gotten and that they deserve rightfully the amount of money that they're owed, but they want to get a little bit extra. And Howard, kind of works his charm talking to these people, and then eventually we get to see Cliff and Howard in the parking lot talking. Cliff's like, goes up to Howard. He's like, "I know everything about you and what you've done." And Howard's like, really confused because he doesn't know what's going on. And Cliff's like, "I know about the prostitute. I know about the cocaine in the bag." And Howard um, is really shocked about this. How he tries to play off that cocaine storyline in the first episode because he doesn't know what's going on at this point. And then Howard, is trying to get answers. He's like, "Who have you been talking to, or who are your clients?" And Cliff actually tells Howard, "You go get help like my son." And that was a line from the last episode. You find out that Cliff's son had a problem with addiction, and Howard's like trying to figure out who Cliff was seeing. And Cliff says, "I've been meeting with Kim." And then he puts the pieces together that Jimmy's the one messing with him because everything traces back to Jimmy. So we get to see Howard kind of figure out what's going on. He's finally in the know now, 5 episodes in, and you know, great to see this interaction between Howard. Then next year we get to see Francesca. She comes to the Saul Goodman office, and it's still very, very, in its early stages here. His clients are waiting outside, and she comes in right before 9 o'clock, and Saul offers her the position. She knows she's just kind of disgusted by this place, how it looks right now, but he's like, it's going to be a lot better, and he offers to double her salary and gives her a bonus for signing on. And I love the line, what Colonel Sanders is to chicken, Saul Goodman is to the law. I think that's a really, really great way to think about it, or how Saul's trying to be perceived. She asked, "Thought you were a part of elder law, and what are all these people doing?" He's like, "I want to be more inclusive and expand out." So I think that was a great scene with Francesca, another Breaking Bad character making an appearance. We haven't seen her in a while. I think it was season 3 was the last time we saw Francesca. So, and she asked about Kim, and Kim has been haven't seen Kim with Francesca in a while. And Jimmy kind of says that she's kind of off doing her own thing now, which is great. And then, yeah, so that was a good interaction to see. And then we see Kim talking with one of the her coworkers at Schweikart and Coakley that she was working at previously, before she left, and talks about a little bit about the Mesa Verde case and the Sandpiper case. And at first, I was wondering kind of like the significance of this scene, but eventually, you kind of find out that Kim is looking to find out who the judge is on the Sandpiper case. She kind of gets that out of her coworker that she knows, and she kind of feels real guilty about it. You can tell by her expressions. Her coworker is praising her for you know being the little guy and going and doing pro bono cases, but in reality, she's kind of just manipulating her into giving information out about the case. So um, yeah, that was another solid scene here. And then we get to probably, I think, the funniest scene of the episode here. We see Jimmy going, or Saul, I should say, going and seeing a Mr. Ward at the boxing ring. And of course, this is Howard. Howard comes and he is like, "I know what you're up to. I've seen everything that you've done." Or Cliff's kind of clued me in. Jimmy's like just trying to deny it. And he's like, "I know how much you hate me. Let's settle this in the ring. I rented out the ring. Let's box." So we get to finally see, that teaser clip that we've been seeing all season of Howard at the boxing ring, and Howard and Jimmy box. And oh my God, I think two Karens at the McDonald's line fight better than Jimmy and Howard did. It was pretty bad. These two, they can't fight worth shit, man. And I just thought it was so funny, man, how these two just dorks kind of get in the ring, and they're just so bad at it. And eventually, you see Howard with that nasty uppercut, knocking Saul down, and basically, warning him to kind of stop, but he knows he's not going to stop. So Howard walks out of the building, and he finally gets his PI. Now, this PI, I thought was going to be earlier on in the show, but now we see him now. But I wonder how this PI is going to conflict with Mike's investigators, because we saw from last episode that two guys that were following him were Mike's men in Washington for Lalo. But then now we have Howard's guy investigating both of them. And how is that going to go? Uh, Howard's PI and Mike's guys could eventually, meet or stumble upon each other. And I think we all know who's going to win that. So does Howard's PI get taken out, or does he get scared away from being his PI because these other guys are watching her? Uh, really going to be interested to see how that storyline plays out here in the future. Then here we get to see, Mike, he gets smuggled back into Gus's house, and he's talking with the people there. And Gus is just very OCD at this point. He's cleaning his bathroom with like a toothbrush, cleaning the bathtub. And Gus is like, let's go out to the lab and see what's going on. And, Mike and Gus eventually go to the super lab, and Mike assures Gus that there's no way that Lalo can get into this place. It's very secure. And, Gus eventually goes around and, looks at, ways he can get in, or just kind of looking around the super lab. And very interesting to see just how Gus is just so on edge right now. And then finally, here we get to see Lalo. Lalo finally comes in. Like I said in the last review, I knew that Lalo would be coming in very, very soon. I had a feeling that he would be coming back this episode. I'm like, we haven't seen Lalo in two episodes. When he was talking with Hector in the first episode, he tells him how he's going to go get proof of Gus's betrayal of the cartel. And we all thought that he was going after Nacho, but now the whole Nacho situation is wrapped up. We were wondering, where has Lalo been, and we see him in Germany. He's going after Werner's wife to get information out that Werner was working for Gus and building the super lab, which will connect to like, why is Gus needing the super lab? Gus is preparing. We've known throughout Breaking Bad that Gus has been preparing to, leave the cartel. He wants to take revenge, and that's Lawless proof. That's what he's trying to get. So we get to see this lady. She helps out this group with an answer on a trivia game, and then we get to see Lalo talking with her, and is Werner's wife. And Lalo's like asking her a lot of questions about her husband and what kind of work he was in, the men he was working with, trying to get anything out of her. But we know that Werner was very secretive and quiet about that. Um, so yeah, we know that Werner just didn't reveal a lot to his wife. His wife doesn't really give a lot of information out to Lalo, and eventually Lalo ends up, walking her back to her place, and she says that I'd invite you in, but I have to go to work tomorrow. So we get to see a nice transition to like the next day, and Lalo ends up coming in and. Uh, kind of breaks into her place, sneaks into her place, and is looking through old files or anything that he can find on Werner. And the dog, is kind of going crazy. And Lau kind of talks it down, and he's looking, snooping around to find any sort of info on Werner or anything that he might have been up to. He knows that he was involved with Gus, but he needs to find proof for that. And then eventually she ends up coming back. She forgets her phone, and she comes back into the house, and she can tell that the dog is very suspicious, that something's going on. And she's very cautious going up the stairs and looking around, and she knows that someone's been in the house because the window is open. And basically that is where the episode ends off. We don't get to see the final confrontation of what happens between these two. It's going to probably finish up with the season 6, episode 6 opener. Um, but we don't get to see uh, Lalo and Werner's wife. Lalo has his gun with the suppressor on it to make it very quiet in case he ever did had to shoot her. And that's where it leaves off here. We don't get to see, uh, their confrontation, which was very disappointing. I feel like they should have either ended it with, him killing her or escaping out of the house or something. It was kind of like, a Sopranos cut to black moment. But yeah, we will definitely get answers moving into the next episode here. But Black and Blue here, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 here. I think this episode had a lot more promise, but I think it was still a very solid episode. I think it hit a lot of great notes here. Not really that happy with the ending, but there was a lot of key elements here in the story that were really, really great. And a lot of people were suspecting that Walter and Jesse would be making an appearance here. Like I mentioned earlier in the live stream, people were talking about how Black and Blue was the uh, name of the Breaking Bad episode, Negro y Azul, which is of course Black and Blue in Spanish. And someone was suspecting that they would be involved here, but they do not end up coming up in this episode. But we know they are confirmed for the season. I think that they will be put in the second half of the season. I don't think they're going to be in this first 7 episodes here. I think that's going to be something that they're going to be saving for, towards the very end of this season here. I could see it being, maybe in the penultimate episode or within those last 3 episodes. That is my guess here. But yeah, 8 out of 10 here for Black and Blue. But yeah, let's go over some of these comments here in the live stream. Awesome Breaking Bad poster. Thank you. Hey, Mike, finally get to catch one of these streams live. This week's episode was fantastic. I agree. This was a good episode. Very slow start to the season so far, but I think it will pay off. I definitely agree. I think they're building a lot of foundation right now, and now those pieces are starting to move and move. I think the Lalo Gus confrontation is going to be, really epic. That's going to be like a really high of the season. Walter and Jesse coming back, and then eventually the fallout with Howard, Saul, and Kim. That's going to be great. Yeah. Oh, he did escape through the window. Okay, because they kind of hinted that the window was open, but I figured that the window was open as an entrance point. But okay, that makes sense now. Okay, thank you for pointing that out here. So I know I want to see what Lalo had. I want to see if he took something with him. That would be great to see if he, took some paperwork with him, or maybe he didn't find anything. And maybe he's heading back, or maybe he goes to try and get more information out of her. Maybe he goes and finds these other guys that she was talking about was working with him. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream here. Again, if you have anything that wasn't answered in this live stream, you can comment down below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you guys want to see a lot of weekly content coming up. A lot of big plans. The Mayans reviews will be coming um, tomorrow as well, or Wednesday, I should say. So yeah, that'd be great. And it looks like someone else commented he took the award given to him. Yeah, the thing that was teased in the opener. Thank you for pointing that out. Um, that was really, really great to see. How do we know he escaped? Could he still be there? At first, like I was saying, I thought that was the entrance point of how he got into the house. We see her see the window, but someone here is pointing out that that might have been the exit point as well. Um, I didn't see him, go out the window, but it could have been inferred that he did. We'll just have to see for next episode. But that was really good to see, and thanks for pointing out that detail there. So, like I said, for anyone who is still in here or going to be watching later, 8 out of 10 for Black and Blue here. Axe and Grind is the name of the next episode. Sounds very interesting. They're going through. A lot of oh yeah, you're right. He totally broke in through the front door. I do remember that. Yeah, he took the key, went to the front door. Very, very good there. Um, so yeah, that is going to do it here for the reviews here for season 6, episode 5. So I hope you guys enjoy and peace out.